Things are gonna get crazy!
Most everyone's mad here.
Yes. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a very special and very exciting episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. And let me tell you, for this episode in particular, we are gonna be taking a little break from the cartoons. Yes, this will not be about animation. Instead, for this episode in particular, we are going to be looking into the world of video games. If you guys don't know, this week, it was the biggest event for video games of the year, and I'm talking about, of course, the Electronic Entertainment Expo. Yes, E3 has happened, and we have gotten a whole bunch of exciting announcements regarding the latest video games and even some upcoming consoles. So there have been a lot of major highlights. So what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to go into each of the major conferences that happened, and we're going to be talking about all the announcements that they have done, some of the clips that they have revealed, and we're going to be discussing, ultimately, who won this year's E3. So, with all that said and done, I would like to go and ask the chat wall, guys, are you all ready for this E3 special episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast? Come on, guys, let me go and hear it. Come on, how do you feel? Are you all ready? Okay, we got some readies. Yep. Yes? All right. Sounds good. That is perfect. We can now officially go and get things started. Oh, but first of all, let me go and get some water. Seriously, I really need the water, especially since before this, I actually did some recordings and I was just recording for an upcoming video for like an hour straight. So yeah, chances are you might see me drink a little bit more water than usual. Okay, so now that I got that out of the way, let's go ahead and begin this. And with our first one, let's go ahead and check out all the latest news that's going to be coming soon for the PlayStation. Yes, let's go ahead and start things out with Sony's press conference. Okay, never mind. Microsoft! Yes, let's go ahead and begin with Microsoft instead. Yes, apparently Microsoft, they stepped in and they have revealed a whole bunch of major announcements that's going to be coming soon for the Xbox One. But not necessarily just for the Xbox One. For the biggest thing that they have revealed is regarding information related to the next console that's going to be happening, which for now, it's not going to be the official name, but they have called it Project Scarlett. In which, by the way, throughout the whole presentation, throughout this whole episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast, my source will be from Kotaku. So just a little bit of a heads up on that. So yes, going back into Project Scarlett, it has stated for Project Scarlett that the pitch sounds a lot like what Sony was talking about with PlayStation 5. The emphasis is on reducing load times. There will be a solid state hard drive which can be used as virtual RAM to cut down on loading times. The AMD processor will be 4 times more powerful than the Xbox One X, and it will use high bandwidth GDDR6 RAM and will be able to do 8K resolution at 120 frames per second. But that's not the only thing that they have revealed. Of course, they have also talked about a little bit of one of their launch games, in which they have revealed that for Project Scarlett, and also for Xbox One and for PC, they will be releasing Halo Infinite, in which, with Halo Infinite, they have revealed a cutscene which is pretty much like a 5-minute prologue of what happened, where we saw this soldier who has been stranded in space for years, but then suddenly he saw Master Chief and managed to revive him, and then we get a little bit of an update regarding the universe, and apparently it seems that they lost, and the Halo itself, like the Halo thing of Halo, got completely destroyed. So now Master Chief has to go back and do his thing. And from there, they have also revealed when there's going to be a release date, in which, if I may take a little bit of a peek, I believe they stated it would be sometime for the holiday 2020, or no, actually it states here that it would be for the fall 2020, so sometime a little over a year from now, so sometime next year, that is when you're gonna get Project Scarlett, and I would say that most likely that's when, like, in next year's E3, we're gonna learn a lot more about what Project Scarlett is and what it's officially gonna be called. But that's not the only major thing that they have revealed. They have also revealed more stuff regarding Cyberpunk 2077. And out of all the things that actually happened at Microsoft's press conference at this year's E3, that is actually the biggest highlight, considering that they have actually gotten a cameo from the one and only Keanu Reeves. Yes, by the way, Keanu Reeves is going to be making an appearance in Cyberpunk 2077, in which they also revealed a release date for it, which is going to be April of next year. And with Cyberpunk 2077, they also showed a bit of a trailer of what's going to be happening. And it is another big cutscene showing a bit of showing a little bit of a story that we see this crook coming over to his boss. And, you know, it's kind of the typical, "Where's my money, man?" And he managed to get away scot-free. And then right at the end of the trailer, we see one of the characters actually turns out to be Keanu Reeves, who might be a helper in your, in your adventure. So that's the big highlight that they have revealed, is actually that Keanu Reeves is going to be in Cyberpunk 2077, and that he was at E3, in which many people say that now officially 2019 is the year of Keanu Reeves, not just because of E3 and Cyberpunk 2077, but because of what we just got with John Wick, and soon next week, he's going to be in Toy Story, and we will soon know him more as Duke Kaboom. So now let's go and jump onto next announcement that they have revealed. Believe it or not, Microsoft actually revealed that they have entirely purchased Double Fine's production. And from there, they also showed a little bit of a clip of the upcoming highly anticipated sequel of Psychonauts. So they have revealed that not only did they purchase Double Fine's, but Psychonauts 2 is going to be an Xbox One exclusive. And then from there, they have also revealed another little trailer, which is going to be the 5th Gears of War game, in which is now just called Gears 5, which they've also revealed some new information, including the release date, which is going to be coming out on September 10th of this year, and even a little bit of a trailer where we see one of the main girl characters, and like, I guess they're trying to do some kind of metaphor of a split personality, because you see, like, with her head, there are just a bunch of heads coming out, like, you know, it's just like, that was throughout the whole trailer. And then we see the girl, like, she's becoming good, but then she's also becoming evil and all that kind of weird stuff. It really was one of the weirder trailers of this year's E3. But from there, let me go and read a little bit of an excerpt about Gears 5. It's not called Gears of War 5, but that's what it is. You'll be able to play with it 4 days early by buying the special edition or having Game Pass Ultimate. A multiplayer tech test with a new game type called Arcade will hit July. The new Horde mode will be shown at Gamescom this in August, and there will also be a Terminator Dark Fate crossover game pack. So if you want to play as Arnold Schwarzenegger in Gears of War, well, you can pretty much do that with the upcoming character pack. And then also they have revealed that there is going to be a brand new controller that they're going to be coming out called Series 2, in which it states here, It's got an internal battery this time, and it will give you up to 40 hours of gameplay on a single charge. It also got a charging dock, it's got Bluetooth, and it's probably pretty expensive. And yes, it will be, because the price, I think it has been confirmed to be $180. And yes, $180, not for the console, for the controller, for an additional freaking controller. I know, that is absolutely insane. But apparently they have revealed that in 2020, there's going to be a few, a few major fan favorite games, in which we got Phantasy Star Online 2 is now going to be coming out in spring of 2020, and also Tales of Arise is going to be coming out, Tales of Arise or something like that, that's going to be coming out in 2020. But then there was also another very interesting announcement, and this one caught a lot of people's eye, which is actually a game called Elden Ring. And it's a brand new fantasy game, which is brought to us by Hidetaka Miyazaki, who is actually credited as the creator of Dark Souls. But also, it is also going to be from George R.R. Martin. Yes, this is actually a collaboration between the creator of Dark Souls and the creator of Game of Thrones in order to bring us this game here, which is Elden Ring. So that is something that really did caught a lot of people's eye, and it does sound like a very fascinating project. But then, moving right along, they have also revealed a few classic games are going to be coming back, including Battletoads and Microsoft Flight Simulator. And then they have revealed a brand new action RPG, which is called Dragon Ball Z Carrot Cake. No, I'm just kidding. I'm a huge fan of Dragon Ball P by Chris O'Neill. No, this is actually called Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which will implement the same technology in order to give out the anime-looking style that we have seen from Dragon Ball Fighter Z. So it does seem like a pretty impressive game, but this time it is just going to be a action RPG. Then we also got another very interesting game, which is going to be brought to us by Ninja Theory, called Bleeding Edge, which is going to be a first-person action combat multiplayer. And the best way to describe it is that it does look like it's something that's very similar to Overwatch, because it is another combat multiplayer, but also you got a huge cast of very unique and very stylized characters. Like, this is an entire cast of memorable characters with their own powers, with their own personality. So it is a game that's trying to capture the same veins of something like Overwatch or Team Fortress 2 on that sense. Then they have also revealed more games that are going to be coming out in 2020 that people are anticipating for, including Ori and the Will of the Wisps and Minecraft Dungeons. And then also showing a little bit more clips of the upcoming EA game Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. But then there is also another major announcement that they have revealed that caught a lot of people's attention. It's actually going to be a game based on the movie The Blair Witch Project. Yes, they have pretty much taken the entire concept of the Blair Witch Project, and they are now turning it into a game called Blair Witch, in which that one is actually going to be coming out on August 30th. Then they have also revealed a remake of Age of Empires 2, which is going to be with remastered audio and 4K graphics. And then they have also revealed something for Forza Horizon 4, in which you can get an expansion where you can play with Legos. So in case you're missing something with Forza, why not have it be with Legos? And from there, they have also revealed a whole bunch of other small games, just like as a quick little reminder. And then they have also mentioned about Xbox Game Pass and a little bit more announcements, including like what other games that you can go and get with the Xbox Game Pass. Okay, so with all that said, with all the things that they have revealed at this year's E3 Microsoft conference, I honestly look at this and I feel like it's just, I don't know. I look at this and I'm not too all that impressed with it. I'm sure that Project Scarlett might turn out to be something big, but to be very honest, there's not a lot of games here that really caught my attention or really caught my eye. Not to mention that very rarely do we see any prominent gameplay that's been displayed, especially for some of their highly anticipated games. Like, even for some of their biggest titles like Halo Infinite or even Cyberpunk, they didn't even show any gameplay yet, and yet these are games that we've already known about. And I think that is also another aspect that is a little bit disappointing about it, is that there's not necessarily a whole lot of new information per se, or a lot of new info that really caught a lot of people's eye. I mean, technically, yeah, there was stuff like Elden Ring, and there was the Blair Witch game, but other than that, in terms of their biggest announcements, there wasn't anything new that they added on to it. And keep in mind, I'm not necessarily the only one who does feel a bit that way. Because when you do look on social media and you do look around the internet, a lot of people were not necessarily all that impressed with Microsoft's announcements, with what they have presented for E3. And I will give it to them that it's not necessarily all that bad per se. It's not necessarily Microsoft's fault that they didn't do all that much. But the biggest reason I would say why it was a bit of a disappointment, it's mainly because of Sony. Now, if you guys didn't get the joke from earlier, what happened is that Sony decided to skip out on this year's E3. Now, they have previously made some announcements a few weeks before E3 in the first place, so they did show a bit of what's going to be to come with the PlayStation games and reveal a little bit of information of what's going to be happening with PlayStation 5. Now, because of that, you would think that Microsoft would take full advantage of the situation, that one of their biggest competitors would not be there, and that this is the time that they can go out and reveal a whole bunch of major stuff, not just from Xbox, but also a whole bunch of other third-party games that could also be available for the Xbox One. You'd think that this would be a moment that they would take full advantage of it, but sadly, they did not. They mostly just go and talk about like all their main stuff. They just mainly focus on what only Microsoft and Xbox would have to offer, and that's pretty much it. And even for me personally, I feel like there really isn't much that I'm all that interested into. I know that there are a lot of these games that people would be excited about for Psychonauts 2. I have yet to play Psychonauts myself, so I could be patient for it, but the only ones that really did caught my eye a bit is just Cyberpunk 2077 and Elden Ring, and other than that, like maybe Bleeding Edge, but other than that, that's pretty much it. Like, okay, yeah, I do get like how people could be excited for the Blair Witch game, but yeah, there really isn't all that much that I really am impressed at. You know, it's not necessarily that Microsoft did bad in this case, it's just when we look at this, I just feel like it's just You know, that's how I think that's honestly my whole reaction to Microsoft's announcements. It's just this year they really just went you know. All right, so with all that said, I would like to go into the chat wall and I would like to ask, what do you think about Microsoft's announcements at this year's E3? Were you guys impressed with it? Are you interested in what Microsoft might have to offer? Are you a little bit disappointed? Let me know what you guys think. Okay, now let's see here. These games look great and fun. Really interested in playing these games and having a fun time. Definitely could tell Bill Gates will be rolling in the money. I am mostly excited with games based on the Blair Witch Project. Also cautious as licensed games often have a bad reputation for being low quality and just capitalizing on the franchise. Are you going to these games once they come out, or will you just play them on your gaming channel? Well, okay, whoa. Don't be asking me about, am I gonna be playing these games yet, okay? Like, whoa, that's a little too quick. Like, number one, I have yet to even have an Xbox One myself, so, like, hold on a sec there. Okay, anyways, well, let's go back to, what we have here. Someone is actually calling out Keanu Reeves. Keanu is only doing this for the money. Wow, that's a surprise. I'm meh with Microsoft, okay. I think Microsoft did an okay job at E3. Also, you didn't talk about the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which will combine subscription service and Xbox Live and Game Pass. So Oh, okay. So yeah, I didn't fully check into it, like, because like there are so many other things that are going to be coming out. But yeah, they didn't necessarily describe all that much in here. But yeah, that is actually some good info. So I'll give you the credit to actually mentioning that. Let's see. I'm pretty disappointed by some of these announcements, but there are some good games that interest me, like the Blair Witch game. Okay, so it seems that a lot of people seem to be more interested in the. A lot of people seem to be very interested in the Blair Witch game, surprisingly enough, out of all of them. Okay, so, with that said... Oh, wait a minute, we do have one more coming out. I was disappointed to see Sony skip out. They're usually good with their presentation more than what Microsoft does. I'm not a Microsoft guy, but more of a PlayStation guy, since I usually play some PS3 and 4 games and watch movies from it too. Wish they could have been there to make things better. And yeah, I mean, like, out of all the places that Sony could have been prominent, E3 is usually the one that people are mostly excited about, because Sony is often a major powerhouse and usually they offer great presentations. So yeah, there is a little bit of that disappointment that they were not here yet. So it does suck a bit, but I mean, we can only work with what we can do. So yeah, I think overall it's just with Microsoft, this year they're just kind of meh, but a lot more disappointing the fact that they didn't really take advantage this year. Okay, so hold on, beforehand, I just need a bit of water. Okay, so with that said, let us go now into our next announcement, our next press conference, in which now we're just going to be jumping onto the individual companies, and in which this one, I gotta say, holy crap, compared to Microsoft, this one is a breath of fresh air. So now let's go into Bethesda, and Bethesda actually has some major surprises that they have in store. And first off, Bethesda didn't immediately jump onto their major gaming franchises, but instead they actually revealed some new games and some new ways that like you could play with these games. First of which is, and this is probably the biggest highlight of the Bethesda conference, which is actually Ghostwire Tokyo. And just want to go and give a little bit more information about this, because it really is worth talking about, in which it states here that creative director Ikumi Nakamura described Ghostwire Tokyo as an action-adventure game with horror elements where the player rids the city of a supernatural evil. Nakamura was careful to explain that Ghostwire will not be a survival horror game like The Evil Within. And by the way, Ikumi Nakamura, she actually did some games before. She was designing games such as The Evil Within and Bayonetta, and that's why she had to go and really emphasize that. And I just want to mention about two things. Okay, first off, let me talk about Ikumi, because just like with Keanu Reeves in the Microsoft press conference, Ikumi was a major highlight of this because of her sweet nature. She was doing her best talking in English since she is mainly Japanese, and she actually did do a pretty good job. And from there, it's just her sweet, bubbly nature that ended up winning the hearts of millions of people all across the internet. They just absolutely adored her. And then there is the factor of the game itself, Ghostwire Tokyo. And I just gotta say, guys, have you seen this trailer? Holy crap, I gotta say right now, out of all the games that have been announced at E3, this is the one that really does intrigue me the most. Because what's basically happening is that it's set in a modern day Tokyo in which people are disappearing, and then you see these supernatural elements from Japanese lore that they are coming to life, and you're pretty much playing this character who has to go after these ghosts. And this is actually pretty cool, I gotta say. Just watching this trailer, it just feels absolutely epic. It immediately caught my attention, and I feel like this is a major game that we gotta look out for. This actually does seem awesome. Okay, now the next game that we got over here, another original game, and this one is actually highly intriguing. It is called Deathloop. And Deathloop, it's hard to explain because it really is such a unique game. In fact, let me just read a little bit from Kotaku saying that the folks behind Dishonest have a new game with a mind-bending story and meticulously designed levels. Like Dishonored, it's all about playing the way you want to play. Seems like the story revolves around time loops, not much information besides a trailer. And from Deathloop, the trailer pretty much showed this, it pretty much shows two characters, where you got one person who is a guy. He feels like he's kind of trapped in this time loop, and from there, he feels like he needs to get out of it. But then, there is this girl who loves this time loop, and she feels like she's completely free. She's like the complete opposite of the guy. So, what I'm guessing is that you're probably going to play either one of these characters, and you gotta fight it out to see, like, who's going to win. The guy who wants to break the curse, or the girl who wants to let this curse running, or feels more like this is a blessing. So I think that's going to be the idea, but it does feel like a very unique game, and it seems something that it's complicated to explain, but once you see the trailer, it is something you kind of understand a little bit, and it does sound pretty cool for a game. Oh, but then the next one, the next game that they have revealed, this is the time when they decided to go into their franchise, and well, to their popular franchises, and this time around, they got something pretty epic going on, which is the sequel to their Doom remake, which is called Doom Eternal. And with Doom Eternal, it pretty much promises you like what you would do in the Doom games, where you're going to be fighting off monsters and demons from hell, but on top of that, you're also going to go to heaven and kill off a bunch of angels and demons over there as well. So you're not going to be picking sides about heaven or hell. It doesn't matter if you're siding with Satan or God, you're pretty much shooting down whatever's down in your path and whatever is stopping you. And the game, they have also revealed that it's going to be coming out in November 22nd. And on top of that, we shall go on by explaining, in this Ultimate Power Fantasy, you'll go not only to hell, but to heaven. Also, it'll have a multiplayer mode called Battle Mode, 2-player control demons versus 1 player controlling Doom Guy, a first-person fighter. And looking at the trailer, oh boy, it is exciting. Now, even though I could lean more into the rated E or rated T games, Doom is just awesome. I love the Doom games, and looking at this, holy crap, I'm immediately putting this in one of my more anticipated games, and the fact that it is also coming out on the Switch, that is something I'm totally excited for. I am down for that. I'm excited to play this one right over here. Okay, now we're going to go on to some of their other franchises, especially with Fallout, in which they have revealed that with Fallout, there's going to be an upcoming update that will add a whole lot more non-playable characters, or NPCs. Now, they have stated that a free new update called Wastelanders will add actual computer-controlled human NPC characters with full dialogue trees and a new main quest. It'll be out this fall. And from there, they have also revealed that with the new stuff, with the new updates, of course, between now and the 17th, Fallout 76 is actually going to be free, and also that there will indeed going to be a Battle Royale mode that's going to be called Nuclear Winter. But then we're going to go and jump onto the next major franchise from Bethesda. Of course, it is going to be Elder Scrolls. And Elder Scrolls revealed a new minigame, not necessarily a part of the big Elder Scrolls series, but they have revealed exclusively for the Switch, there's going to be a game called Elder Scrolls Blaze, which will go and you can actually play with the motion controls of the Switch, and it will actually have cross progression that you can play on the Switch, and then you can also play on the phone, and then you can go back to the Switch and you will progress to what you have done from your phone and vice versa. So it's actually a pretty interesting technique and a pretty interesting mechanic. So there is that. So in case you want to have a little extra Elder Scrolls game, well, Blades will have you for that on the Switch. And then they have also revealed some new additions for some of the Elder Scrolls games, including Elder Scrolls Online will get a dungeon DLC adventure called Scalebreaker, and also Elder Scrolls Legends will have a new expansion called Moons of Elsewhere. I think that's how you pronounce that. And also, in terms of what could possibly be their most anticipated game for Elder Scrolls 6, they didn't necessarily make any big new announcements or shown any major trailers, but they have stated that they are still very hard at work at Elder Scrolls 6. And as for many of the other games that they have revealed, well, there is soon going to be a virtual reality game of Wolfenstein called Wolfenstein Cyberpilot. There is also going to be a mobile game that you can get for Android and iOS, which is going to be a remake of one of their classic games called Commander Keen. There will also be a new expansion to Rage 2 called Rise of the Ghosts. And then they have introduced a brand new software technology for game streaming. And I will go and read this little part right over here. And it is stated, called Orion, it is software developed by id and implemented at the game engine level that lets gamers stream with much lower latency. It's supposed to help players stream games at max settings even if your family is sucking up all the bandwidth, or if you live far away from a data center. You'll be able to test it out by joining the Doom Slayers Club. Okay, so with all that said, this is more like it. I mean, this is just one of the smaller companies. This is not as big as Microsoft, but holy crap. Bethesda did a much better job with their presentation than with Microsoft, especially with the fact that not only were they giving out more information regarding some of the games that they love, including new games and new expansions to fan favorites like Fallout 76 and some of the Elder Scrolls games, but they also went out with some new big surprises. I think the biggest highlight is not necessarily with Doom I would say is a highlight. With Doom Eternal, that's a big highlight for them. It's not necessarily with Fallout or Elder Scrolls, but their biggest highlight, I feel like it's more some of their original games, especially with Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo. And I'm not just necessarily saying that because of Ikumi's charm, but also because of the games themselves that look very interesting, that they introduce new fascinating concepts and new ways that you could go and play. They really nailed it on this one, and I feel like Bethesda managed to really, they got a list, they went down every aspect of what they need to present, and they really did such a fascinating job. I'm honestly very impressed with all the stuff that they have revealed, and it actually made me very excited for some of their stuff. Like, for me, already, among my list of the most anticipated games that have been announced at this year's E3, it is hands down Doom Eternal and Ghostwire Tokyo. Maybe I'll put in Deathloop because it sounds like a very interesting game, but I think I'll wait. I'm more in the mood of a wait and see with that one, but in terms of Doom Eternal and Ghostwire Tokyo, those are things that I would hands down, all right, give me that. I want to try this out. So it really does look very fascinating, and also delivering on all the factors that fans want to hear about all the Elder Scrolls stuff, all the Fallout stuff, all the Wolfenstein stuff, Commander Keen stuff. Even though they are a little bit small, at least they did deliver on some updates on some of the new things that are going to be happening. So overall, I feel like Bethesda has done an amazing job at this year's E3. They really did well. Alright, so with that said, I would like to go into the chat wall right now, and I want to ask you guys, what do you think about Bethesda's presentation? Are you guys as impressed as I am? Are you guys a little bit disappointed? Are there some games that you are more interested in getting? Let me know what you guys think. Okay, let's see here. Deathloop seems interesting. Probably the game that stands out to me for Bethesda. Also, why are people hating on Bethesda right now? Also, if an afterlife exists, the fate of people who made Doom Eternal will definitely be interesting. Yeah, it's like, yeah, if there is an afterlife, it's like, oh, you're one of those people that did Doom Eternal. Satan, do you want this? No? Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Here, you stay in, you be a good boy and stay in limbo. You just stay there, okay? You know, you stay in the empty void. I think that suits you well. Okay. Let's see. AniMat, I didn't know if see the E3 live streams aside from Doom or Ghostwire, especially with the director director personality, everything else was a major bad. Whether it be the beginning of the show or showing that they felt like either like they apologized without saying it, but it just used that they're not that bad, or putting human NPCs in Fallout 73. That's not the original. Seriously, but the worst of it was with the out of place moment where audiences that were probably stand-ins call out to just scream or shot and let in. Okay. Admittedly, I will say this. Personally, I have not actually seen some of these live streams of the presentations themselves. Excuse me. A lot of these I'm just reading it through here, so that's why I would say that I am more impressed about the elements of Bethesda and the stuff that they have announced. So from there, you could be right on that. I just didn't know, honestly. Okay, so going back into this, I don't know about Bethesda very much since I have no relationship with them. However, I do agree with Bethesda handled with the presentation and games much better than Microsoft did. Not sure if I want to play their games, but I'll try and see if I could in the future. By the way, what's your opinion with this company as a whole if you have played their games? Honestly, I am not too familiar. I am actually just starting to play them. I mean, like, outside of Doom, which I do play a lot, honestly, I'm just getting into the Elder Scrolls games. I have yet to actually play the Fallout games, so honestly, I'm more of a newbie and more of an outsider when it comes to the elements of Bethesda, so yeah, that's kind of the main thing. Regarding the games, I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. Okay, so let me get some water here again. Now, with all that said, now that I have gone through Bethesda, let us now go and jump onto a company that I'm sure many of us are actually familiar with, and as a Montrealer myself, I know I am quite familiar with here, Ubisoft! Now, Ubisoft here, they have revealed some interesting games and a few additions that will come along with it. First and foremost, they have actually revealed a new game from the Watch Dogs series, which is called Watch Dogs Legion, which is stated here in Kotaku that Ubisoft kicked off the show with an extensive gameplay demo of the latest in the Watch Dogs series, in which you could take control of an entire team of resistance agents, from your standard bald chiseled men all the way to little old ladies. This fascinating with the fascinating hook, you can actually recruit and play as anyone you see in the game. So that's the main thing about Watch Dogs Legions. Basically, it is set in a dystopian United Kingdom. It's set in a dystopian London. Like, a little bit similar to the same kind of dystopia that you saw in V for Vendetta. It's like if the far right completely dominated London and the entire United Kingdom, and no one has a say on that. And from there, you actually play as resistance agents, and you can literally go and hire whomever you want. And the trailer is actually pretty convincing and pretty cool with that. From there, you can actually go and hire people who have their own unique set of skills, and even being a little bit comical, where they even showed that you can even recruit little old ladies who turn out to be retired assassins. So that's the fun thing about Watch Dogs Legions, and among all the games that they have revealed, this, yeah, like, Ubisoft really went off to a great start with what they have showed with Watch Dogs Legion. So that one was actually pretty cool. And they have also revealed that the release date is going to be coming out March 6th of next year. Then there is also another notable game that they have revealed, which is actually Gods and Monsters, in which many people have described it as if you take Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and you give it a more cartoony aesthetic, not too much, but more a bit of a stylized look, and the entire theme is actually Greek myths and legends. And that is why you kind of see this Icarus-looking kid, or this little gladiator guy, who's going to fight off against this harpy. In fact, it even stated here that it is an action-adventure game with a beautiful cartoon aesthetic like Breath of the Wild, in which you fight mythological creatures. It is a storybook adventure about a forgotten hero on a quest to save the Greek gods, which is going to be coming out on February 25th of next year. So yeah, basically, this is to say that it's a little bit like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, except with Greek myths, monsters, and legends. So that is enough of a hook to really get a lot of people interested, and why this is among one of the most talked about games that Ubisoft has actually presented. And then coming from there, they have also revealed another game called Roller Champions. And with Roller Champions, the best way to describe this one, it's a little bit similar to how we compared Gods and Monsters to Breath of the Wild. Basically, imagine if you take Rocket League, except instead of cars, you're playing as these roller skating people trying to throw the ball and trying to make it go over the hoop. That's basically the main concept of roller derby. And then from there, oh boy, just a little bit of a heads up that with Ubisoft, they have revealed a whole bunch of Tom Clancy stuff. First of all, they have revealed a new Rainbow Six game called Rainbow Six Quarantine, which is going to be coming out in early 2020. And not only is this going to be a tactical game, in fact, it actually states that it is a 3-player tactical player versus enemy co-op game, but also there's going to be a lot of elements that are going to be horror-oriented. So that's the main thing that's going to be going on with this Rainbow Six game. And then on top of that, they have also revealed a new Just Dance game. Of course, we're going to have Just Dance 2020, in which they have revealed that it's going to be available for the Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Google's gaming system, which is going to be called the Stadia, and also the Nintendo Wii. Now, I know that a lot of people are kind of confused of the fact that, yes, they're still making games for the Nintendo Wii, but I have seen on social media that there is a logical explanation to that, and that is mainly because of hospitals. Believe it or not, in hospitals, in order to take care of their patients and in order to help them get back in shape with their bodies after their accidents and stuff like that, they would actually have a Nintendo Wii, and they would use that in order to help them out to reshape their bodies. So that's the main thing why we're still getting Nintendo Wii games. I know it seems a little bit strange to go and see a Nintendo Wii game that says either Just Dance 2019 or Just Dance 2020, but that's pretty much the context and the explanation to explain on that. Then also, we got... The Division is going to be available. Okay, chances are by the time you're listening or watching this, it might not be free for long. But then there's also something very interesting that they added with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, in which they got new modes that are called Story Creator and Discovery Tour, in which I'll go read it here because this actually explained it best for me. Announced during the pre-show, Story Creator is a quest building mode where players can make their own Assassin's Creed missions, including dialogue and branching pathways then share it with others. It's in the open beta starting today, and then there's Discovery... For God's sakes, why the fridge do I keep burping? And especially just on Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Okay, anyways, going back to this. Discovery Tour lets you wander ancient Greece unhindered by enemies, learning all about its history. So these are actually some pretty cool ways in order to not only get creative, but also learn a little bit of history in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So honestly, I find that to be pretty cool. Then also, you know what? Actually, even though I stated that we are taking a full break on cartoons and animation, there is a little bit of animation elements that we will be revealing, especially with Adventure Time, in which they have revealed that they are going to be making an appearance in the game Brawlhalla, in which it states here, Jake, Finn, and Princess Bubblegum will be added to the game as playable characters, plus a new buddy match type where you can play 2 characters at once. The update is available today. They're playable for free until June 25th, and they will cost money. So in case you're a Brawlhalla player and you're also a fan of Adventure Time, well, this is something that's definitely for you. So technically it can count as a new Adventure Time game. Then next up, okay, here, this is not a game. Instead, we actually got an announcement of a new TV show that's actually going to be coming up, in which it is going to be called Mythic Quest Raven's Banquet, and it's going to be brought to us by the people that brought you It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And during that time, Rob McElhenney, yeah, I think that's how you say his name, Rob McElhenney, he actually came in and he announced this new project, in which he stated that this is going to be about a game develop. Basically, imagine if you got a show that's a little bit similar to The Office, but it is set entirely in an environment where they're developing this video game. And Mythic Quest is the fictional video game that's kind of like the World of Warcraft of its world. And then they're going to release a brand new update for it, or a new expansion called Raven's Quest. And that's basically what we're seeing here. It's kind of like regular office life, but it's about video game development. So that's mainly the show that they're presenting. And this is going to be somehow available. Like, it is a collaboration between Rob, Charlie Day, and with Ubisoft. And apparently it's going to be a comedy that will be available on Apple TV Plus. So if you somehow decide that one of your streaming services that you want to get is going to be from Apple, then you'll be able to have Mythic Quest Raven's Banquet. And finally, I believe the last update that they have revealed is actually going to be regarding Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which the game will be coming out on, it will be coming out on October 4th. And also, there will be a beta that will be coming out on September 5th, in which John Berthal explained the whole situation of what's going to be going on with the game. And on top of that, yes, if you can see in the picture, he brought a dog, and that's probably another major highlight during the presentations, where Microsoft got Keanu Reeves, Bethesda got Ikumi, Ubisoft got a dog. The dog didn't do much. He was just there with John, and people were just fascinated with the dog. It's like, if you're not going to buy the game for the gameplay, buy the game for the doggo. Just do it for the doggo. That is there. Yeah, some people are even asking, it's like, why is there a dog? Well, I don't know, the game has a dog, I guess? Because doggo. I mean, like, how else are you going to sell your video games? Use a doggo. So that's mainly the whole situation. I think that pretty much sums up the entire case with Ubisoft. And with Ubisoft, I would say it's okay, honestly. With all their presentations, I look at this stuff, it's like, all the games that they've revealed, it's fine, really. I'm not necessarily someone who's immediately into all these Tom Clancy games, so I'm not necessarily all that interested with Ghost Recon or Rainbow Six and all that stuff. I have yet to really get my hands on Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which, by the way, a lot of the announcements here, they do seem to be like a whole bunch of expansions for some of the games that not many people might be interested in, or, like, I don't know. There's just some that, like, at least for me, they don't necessarily go and click. I would say the most that I would say I'm interested in, I guess, would have to be Gods and Monsters and Watch Dogs Legions. But even at that, I'm not necessarily in that much of a rush. I don't necessarily have that same feeling as I got with Doom Eternal, or even with Ghostwire Tokyo. You know, it's like, yeah, they do seem very interesting, and they do look like they could be really good games, but I'm not in a rush to get them. I can be in a wait-and-see attitude to see how they go. And honestly, that's how I feel overall with this presentation, with all the stuff that they reveal. It's just, a lot of it, I feel like it's okay. It's like, yeah, it's fine, I guess, with all the stuff. Not necessarily the most exciting stuff that they revealed, but honestly, it's just, it's, that's how I feel. It's okay. That's all I could put into it. All right, so with that said, I want to go into the chat wall right over here, and I want to know from you guys. Do you have a more clearer thoughts? Can you explain a little bit more about how you feel regarding what Ubisoft has announced at this year's E3? Are there any games you're really interested in? Are you really impressed or disappointed with what Ubisoft offered? Let me know what you think. All right, let's see. I personally think this Ubisoft was a train wreck. There were too much Tom Clancy games and just overall boring. This conference was the worst this year, and also no Rayman. Oh boy, wow, I didn't expect someone to go that far, but okay, wow. And it is true, yeah, we didn't get any new information on like Rayman stuff or even Rabbids stuff for that matter. That is honestly a bit surprising, but yeah, no, well, let's see. I may not be a big fan of Ubisoft games, but I do find myself a bit interested in Watch Dogs Legion, Gods and Monsters, and Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Also, Ubisoft instantly won my heart with that adorable dog. Yeah, that's the thing. The dog, trust me, you could convince a lot of people with just the dog. It's like, here, dog, buy my game. That can be enough for people. Just present a dog, and people will just do what you say. Oh boy, it certainly did with, who the fridge said that? It certainly worked with King Cerulean, so it definitely can work out with you. Okay, let's see. Now, yeah, and even a lot of people are saying that their highlight is the dog. Like, my highlights were Watch Dogs Legion, Gods and Monsters, Roller Champions, and the dog. Let's see, what else do we have here? Ubisoft, to me, are a decent company. I don't play a lot with their games, with a few exceptions where I play a lot, such as both South Park games. For their presentation and the games, it seems interesting, and it made me most likely interested in checking it out. Then again, I may not check it since I don't need to be in a rush, since most of them are not impressive. Overall, it's a meh to me, and I might just skip with some of their games. Yeah, and also, Ubisoft definitely underwhelmed me with the games, but the dog is the star of the panel. You see? The dog does wonders, folks! All hail the doggo! And actually, that is a pretty interesting question that I want to ask you guys. For you, who do you feel like is the biggest show stealer of this year's E3? Is it Keanu Reeves? Is it Ikumi? Or is it the dog? Let me know what you think. Okay. Just write down, I'll drink, and, Alright, actually, I do I'll go and read one more, actually. Ubisoft's E3 presentation was meh, but I'm interested in Adventure Time and Brawlhalla, since, still upset about the lack of updates of Beyond Good and Evil 2. Dude! Holy crap! You just brought up a really good point. Yeah, that is actually something I'm surprised about. They did not say anything about Beyond Good and Evil 2. I think it was last year or maybe 2 years ago that it was one of the biggest things that they have revealed at E3 in general. It was Beyond Good and Evil 2. Now, you would think that they would bring out more information about it. I mean, like, even with Microsoft, they have went on and revealed a whole bunch of new things for some of their more anticipated stuff, like Halo Infinite, and also for Cyberpunk 2077. Honestly, that is a surprising thing. Like, holy crap. They did not show anything from Beyond Good and Evil. Huh. You do bring up a good point. Holy crap. Here, I'll just take one more. Okay. So, now that we are pretty much all good with Ubisoft, it's time that we will jump onto one more small company before we get into the grand finale. Yes, I will have to go into this one. I know you're excited about one particular thing, but let us be patient a little bit, and we're going to go and talk about another company, in which this case, it will be the Square of the Enix. Yes, Square Enix came in and they decided they want to deliver on what people are anticipated the most. And we're going to go and start things off by talking about two of their biggest games that people have been waiting for so long, which the first one shall be Avengers. And Avengers, they have revealed a whole bunch of new information and even revealed a brand new trailer, which reveals a little bit of what the game is going to be about and a little bit of the story. Now, just a little bit of a heads up, it is not necessarily connected to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so yes, the characters do look a little bit different than what you're familiar with, but they will promise they will bring out an epic game. It even stated here that you will be playing... sorry about that. Just need to clear my throat a bit. You'll be able to play as 5 characters: Captain America, Thor, Hulk, Black Widow, and Iron Man. They do not look like they do in the movies. Troy Baker and Nolan North will play Bruce Banner and Tony Stark, respectively. Square Enix said it will release content for the games over multiple years. It will have 4-player online co-op, and every new character and map added to the game will be free. No random loot boxes or play-to-win scenarios, and it will be available for the Xbox, PlayStation 4, PC, and the Google Stadia. And on top of that, they revealed the release date, which is going to be coming out on May 15th of next year. And I will say a bit on a side note that the funny thing with this Avengers game is that people are really making fun of the fact that they don't look anything like they do in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And well, you do see that there are little hints that they are trying to emulate them, especially with the clothing. Like, you look at Captain America, they really took a major page off of how Captain America looks like in the movies. And from there, it was like, oh, that's not, yeah, that there, you see, that's Tony Stank, that's Captain Canada, that there is the Incredible Hulk, that there, who else we got? Oh, we got, Shore, and that there, that pretty little lady, that's Black Rudolph. I saw that in a meme where somehow they decided to call Black Widow Black Rudolph for some reason. Why Rudolph instead of Widow? I have no freaking idea. Okay, but anyways, that is not the only major anticipated game that they have revealed, because on top of that, they have revealed some brand new information, and yes, a release date for Square Enix's next anticipated game, so much so, and debatably maybe even more than Kingdom Hearts 3, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Yes, the remake of Final Fantasy VII has officially gotten a release date, which is going to be coming out on March 2020. And on top of that, they have also revealed that it will be episodic. Just to read a little bit over here, saying that the first installment, the one that it'll ship on March 3rd, will include the Midgard portion of the original game, which has been expanded. It will take up to 2 Blu-ray discs. Square Enix talked quite a bit about how the battle system will work. A demo will be playable at Square Enix's booth at E3 starting tomorrow. Oh, and a little correction, the previous version of this paragraph incorrectly... Ooh, excuse me. Okay. The previous version of this paragraph incorrectly stated the number of discs in the game would ship on. Kotaku regrets the error. Okay, well, that's nice of you, Kotaku. And yes, basically what they have revealed is some new information and new ways that you could play, like some of the updates for this remake in particular to make it feel completely fresh and not just like a full-on remake of the original game. And plus the fact that we saw some brand new clips and some brand new art styles, and basically the new look of this Final Fantasy game, which does look highly impressive. So in the game, you could pretty much relive all the moments, to battle off Sephiroth, to relive your moments being action-packed with Cloud, to fall in love with Tifa, and that I can go and laugh at you thinking that, oh, the little pink girl, you think that's gonna be your girlfriend? Nah, she's gonna be a shish kebab. Okay. Alright. Anyways, enough of my little trolly little segment. But also, they have revealed it's not just going to be Final Fantasy VII that's going to get a remake. Also, they have revealed Final Fantasy VIII will be remastered as well. And oh boy, for the rest of it, most of it is actually just going to be a bunch of remakes. And plus, there were games that were once upon a time that were just exclusively to Japan, but now they're going to be releasing it all around the world, which includes Romancing Saga 3 is going to be coming out to, is going to be available worldwide. Saga Scarlet Grace is going to be available worldwide. You also got, where else do we got? We got Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles that's going to be coming out. You got The Last Remnant that's going to be coming out. You also got Square Enix Collection, which will include Circuit Superstars in 2020. That's going to be coming out. But also they have revealed some games as well. They have revealed that the people that brought you Gears of War Judgment will be bringing out a new game called Outsiders, in which it states here that it's going to be coming out in summer 2020. It's a 1 to 3 player cooperative shooter from the makers of Gears of War Judgment. Square Enix calls it a journey across a dark and desperate sci-fi world in search of the source of a mysterious signal. It'll talk more about the game this winter, which will be available for Xbox One, PS4, and PC. On top of that, they have also revealed a new update, a new follow-up to Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, which is called War of the Visions, which is now in development. And finally, one major thing they have revealed right at the end is that there will be a brand new DLC for Kingdom Hearts 3, which is going to be called Remind. That will be expanding the situation of Kingdom Hearts 3 and the story mode. I don't know if they're going to add new Disney elements, but it will be regarding, well, at least from the trailer that what we have seen, it will be focusing a lot on the Organization 13. Okay, now one thing that I want to start things off to comment about Square Enix's presentation is that, holy crap, Square Enix revealed so many remakes down to the point that they could give Disney a run for their money. It's honestly a bit ridiculous here. I mean, like, most of it that they have revealed is just a bunch of remakes, like Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VIII, Saga Scarlet Grace, Romancing Saga 3. Like, a lot of these are just remakes and remastered stuff that now you can play on some of the more modern consoles like PlayStation 4 or the Nintendo Switch and all that stuff. Like, at the most, in terms of original content, it's just Avengers and then also Outriders, and that's pretty much it. Now, of course, there is an audience for this, and for that audience, I'm sure that they have relatively enjoyed this one. I feel like, you know, they got exactly what they wanted. So from there, I couldn't necessarily comment. But for me personally, I'm not necessarily someone who has played much of the Final Fantasy games. So really, most of it, I just look at it and I really go, eh. And even with the Avengers game, I'm more in a wait-and-see attitude to see if it really is such an epic game that really is worth playing. So, honestly, for me personally, I would say that it doesn't necessarily do all that much for me. But I can definitely confirm that with all the stuff that we have here, there definitely is an audience for it, and I'm sure that audience is more than happy with what they have gotten, especially with the information related to Final Fantasy VII Remake. And I think that is definitely something, well, both Avengers and Final Fantasy VII is definitely the knockout moments for Square Enix, and they have certainly delivered for them. So overall, for me personally, it's not necessarily gelling, but I'm sure for others, it was pretty good. So, honestly, I do give, I would say Square Enix, I feel like for its audience, they did a good job. Okay, now, with that said, I would like to go and I would like to ask the chat wall regarding what do you guys think about Square Enix's presentation? How do you feel that Square Enix has done so far? Are you more of a Final Fantasy fan and you guys are happy with it? Like, if you are, please let me know. That would be great. Are you guys a little bit disappointed with their presentation? Let me know about what you think with Square Enix. Okay, let's see. Do we have any comments here? Oh boy. Okay. I'm definitely happy with Square Enix this year. For me, the highlight was the Avengers game and all the remakes they are making. Let's see. Square Enix did a good job at E3. I'm interested in the pre-ordering Avengers game and also the Final Fantasy VII remake. Okay, that's nice. That's definitely nice. What else do we got? Hopefully the Avengers game is better than the last Marvel vs. Capcom game we got a couple of years back. Oh yeah, that is definitely true. That was a weird moment. Like, that was something that seems to be highly anticipated, but it came and went so quick, down to the point that now people don't necessarily want to talk about it. Let's see. For so far, my most anticipated game from Square Enix, it will be the Avengers game. I was hyped up back in early 2017 when Marvel and Square Enix announced the collaboration to make an Avengers game. I was waiting years for more information. Now, talked for more details and release date that will be 3 days after my birthday, 2020. Can't wait. Awesome for you, dude. Awesome. Okay, let's see. Yeah, they did good, and I'm interested in the Final Fantasy VII remake since I'm gonna play the original, and the Avengers look hype. If only they announced more new stuff. Okay, yeah, so overall, it does look like something that, yeah, it may not be something for me, but yeah, they did a good job. Like, Square Enix did actually do a pretty solid work, and yeah, it does seem like we might have a bit of a troll, so just gotta take care of that situation. And, okay, there we go. There. Or, actually, hold on a sec, just gotta... Actually, hold on. Oh, crap, is it too late? Is it too late? Okay, never mind. I thought I could solve the situation, but, oh well. Okay. No, I think we're pretty much all good with that. Oh well. We're fine. We'll be fine. Alright. And now the moment you have been waiting for is finally here. Yes, folks. We are entering upon the grand finale. And this time around, this is the one that a lot of people have been waiting for the most in terms of the E3 presentation. And this one, holy crap, do they deliver, folks? Yes, I am going to be talking about Nintendo! And oh boy, where do I begin with this one? Because let me tell you, that was certainly something that I was excited to check out this week. Even to the point that I wanted to make sure I finished my gym time early so that I could come in at noon and check out like all the E3 things, which I did manage to check everything. And oh man, did I have the time of my life with it. Okay, so let's go ahead and start things off with what people were anticipated the most to hear about, which is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and who's going to be the next DLC fighter. And they pretty much started things off by revealing that the next DLC character that will be coming out this summer is actually going to be the hero. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, the hero? Who is the hero? Well, they actually described that the hero will be one of the many main characters that have appeared throughout the Dragon Quest series. You could play either as some of the classic ones, or even some of the most recent ones, or like the newest one that will be coming out in Dragon Quest XI, which they have revealed that Dragon Quest XI will be available for the Nintendo Switch. So from there, they will have the hero with some unique moves. And I know some people might have complained that, oh, it's just a character with a sword, no different than the Fire Emblem characters. But it does look like they have presented that the hero will have some unique movesets that are a lot more reminiscent to how they did it in the Dragon Quest games. So it does look like a pretty interesting character that will have its own unique set of skills that once again will be coming out later this summer. And it is something that the Japanese are pretty hyped up and excited about. But in terms of the people from the West, like the North Americans, the British, and all those people, there is also another announcement, because they started off with a Smash announcement, and they also ended off with a Smash announcement. People have been speculating this for a very long time, for many months, but now it seems at this E3, the rumors seem to be true. Yes, folks, Banjo-Kazooie will be a playable fighter in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate coming this fall. So it's not just one DLC fighter that they have revealed, they have revealed two. And the best thing that I could say about the Banjo-Kazooie character is that it is going to be staying true to the original design. It's not going to be that ugly garbage design that we have gotten in Nuts and Bolts. This is basically what people envisioned having Banjo-Kazooie would look like in Smash. This is literally a dream come true for many people, and as someone who has played the Banjo-Kazooie games, I'm definitely excited to see this, and it really goes to show that Smash Bros. Ultimate is made to have people's dreams come true. That people have been demanding certain characters for years to appear in Smash Ultimate, and they are gonna give it to them, including King K. Rool, Ridley, and now they are legitimately doing Banjo-Kazooie, which is definitely exciting. But it's not just that they've definitely delivered on. They have also delivered on two highly anticipated games that people really want to hear. First of which is going to be Animal Crossing, the upcoming game that will be coming for the Switch. It's now called Animal Crossing New Horizons, in which they showed a little bit of the gameplay of Animal Crossing, and it's going to be a little bit of the same thing, but you're pretty much making it the entire thing from the ground up, where you're going to be left stranded on an island, and you got to build an entire town from there. That's basically the main goal. And unfortunately, it was revealed that beforehand, it was going to be coming out in 2019, this year, but they have revealed that it will be coming out later. They had to delay it in order to make the game as good as people wanted it to be. So now, they have revealed a new release date, which is going to be coming out on March 20th, 2020. But at the same time, they have revealed a lot more information regarding the third Luigi's Mansion game, in which you're going to be staying in a hotel, and you got to rescue much more than Mario. You got to rescue Peach, and you got to rescue a whole bunch of Toads. So for once, there is an official game where Luigi has to be the one who's got to go and save Peach, and not Mario this time. So from there, they have, just to read a little bit of the description, for Luigi's Mansion 3, a second player will be able to join in the fun when Luigi's Mansion hits the Switch later in 2019. They can play as Gooigi, which in the Oxford Dictionary defines as a Luigi made of goo. Gooigi can walk on spikes and through obstacles, but will melt in water. You will also play as both Luigi and Gooigi in single player, swapping between them to solve puzzles. The Scare-Scraper online co-op mode lets you seek out Toads and take out ghosts with 8 players. So there is a major multiplayer functionality that you can do. So that is definitely awesome right over there. And then they've also revealed some little things regarding Legend of Zelda, including the upcoming remake of Link's Awakening, which they now stated that is going to be coming out on September 20th. And from there, they have also revealed that you can actually go and create your own dungeons, and that's going to be a new mode for this Link's Awakening game, is the fact that you can actually go and create all these different dungeons. You can create them the way you want, you can set them up however you would like, and you would also have characters. You can put in like whatever treasures you want, whatever enemies you would like. It's all perfectly customizable, and you can put them online that you can share it with the world. And on top of that, which by the way, it's available right now, they have revealed the new Crypt of the Necrodancer game, which is called Cadence of Hyrule, which actually is a crossover between Crypt of the Necrodancer and The Legend of Zelda. And it actually came out on June 13th, so by the time you're listening to this, it's available right now. And then from there, they've also revealed more new release dates, including No More Heroes 3 that's going to be coming out in 2020, and also Diamond X Machina that is going to be coming out September 13th of this year. On top of that, they have also revealed some new information regarding Pokemon Sword and Shield. Now, you may remember last week when we had that Nintendo Direct that revealed all the new major information regarding Pokemon Sword and Shield. In here, however, they have revealed that now you can actually also play with the Pokeball Plus, in which it even stated here that it can't be used as a controller in the game, but it will let you take your Pokemon out into the world. If you spend some quality time with a favorite Pokemon of yours, then something good might happen, says Nintendo's Shinya Takahashi. And also on top of that, they have revealed a brand new gym leader, which is going to be the water type Nessa. And once again, Nintendo decided to put out a Pokemon character that a lot of people got the hots for. The first week we got Sonia, and now we got Nessa. And oh my god, like, I have to admit, she actually is pretty hot. It's either that Game Freak is starting to make the Pokemon characters a lot more attractive, or maybe I'm just becoming more and more in Brock, where I'm starting to get the hearts over many new Pokemon characters that they revealed. It's either way, I don't know. But, you know, if I could be very honest, before anyone would ask that question, if I would have the choice, honestly, I'm still sticking with Sonia. Yeah, Nessa is very attractive, but Sonia, oh man, she is beautiful. Okay, so from there, they have also revealed a whole bunch of third-party games, and also upcoming games that will also be remakes and games that you can actually go and get onto the Switch. First and foremost, they have revealed that the Secret of Mana trilogy is actually going to be available for the Nintendo Switch, called the Collection of Mana, where you can actually go and get Final Fantasy Adventure, Secret of Mana, and Trials of Mana, all in one bundle on the Switch. But on top of that, speaking of Trials of Mana, they're also creating a 3D remake of it, which is actually going to be coming out in early 2020. Then afterwards, they've also revealed a whole bunch of new remakes that are going to be coming on to the Switch. Witcher 3 is coming to the Switch. Resident Evil 5 and 6 are going to be coming into the Switch. Oh, and by the way, before I continue, I just gotta say right now that out of all the trailers that have appeared at this year's E3, the Resident Evil one has to be the freaking stupidest trailer that I have seen. For those of you who haven't seen it, basically what it is that you got this couple, a guy and a girl. They decided to go into this old abandoned house that's seemingly haunted, and they feel like, hey, you know what? Let's sneak into this haunted house, and we're gonna take out the Switch so we can play Resident Evil. Basically, the main thing is to show that soon the entire Resident Evil collection is gonna be available on the Switch, since many of them are already playable there, like the classic Resident Evil games, Resident Evil 4, but now they're gonna add 5 and 6. But the trailer there, holy crap, is it freaking stupid. Are you kidding me? You purposefully go into an old, abandoned, and possibly haunted house just so you can play a horror game on the Switch. What the fridge is wrong with you, dude? Yeah, because that's certainly my favorite activity. I want to bring a friend along, and I want to go and find a place that's most likely the kind of thing that once you enter its doors, you'll suddenly hear a voice going, "Welcome, foolish mortals." Oh, well, welcome to you too. That seems like the perfect opportunity for me to play a freaking scary horror game in a freaking scary environment where, I don't know, maybe I might be sitting next to a ghost or something. Yeah, that's what I definitely want. What the fridge, man? I'm sorry. I know. I apologize if I'm going on too long about that. It's just really freaking stupid, that trailer. Okay, but anyways, going back to what I was talking about, they have also revealed a brand new Contra game that's going to be coming out on September 24th, which, by the way, they have also revealed that there's also going to be a Contra collection that you can go and get right now on the Switch, in which you can play the classic Contra games like Contra, Contra 3, Super Contra, and all that kind of stuff. So you can actually go and celebrate all the Contra stuff. So you rather, if you're excited for Rogue Corp or just want to play the classic Contra games, you can do that right now. On top of that, there is also going to be a remake of Panzer Dragoon that's going to be coming out later this winter on the Switch. Oh, and here is honestly a very unexpected thing that I saw on Nintendo Direct. This was something that came right out of nowhere. The Dark Crystal! Believe it or not, the Dark Crystal decided to make an appearance on, they decided to go and make an appearance on Nintendo Direct, revealing a brand new game that's going to tie in with the upcoming Netflix series, which is going to be called The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance Tactics. And the best way to describe the game is that it is going to be a more strategic, like turn after turn RPG game, which the best way I could describe it is that it's going to be very similar to something like Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battles. Like, if you've played Mario and Rabbids, that's the feeling that I'm getting with this Dark Crystal game. How it's going to be, I don't know, but honestly, it was a pleasant surprise to find the Dark Crystal from Nintendo Direct. And on top of that, they have also revealed a new game, which is going to be brought to us by John Romero, the creator of Doom, which is actually going to be called Empire of Sin, which will be a game that is going to be set in the 1930s and will have a bunch of gangsters. That's basically the whole thing. It's this whole gangster-themed game brought to us by the creator of Doom. And it does seem pretty interesting, and they promise a release date that it will be coming out in spring of 2020. And from there, of course, they've also revealed a whole bunch of other games, and of course, one of them, considering that the Olympics is going to be coming soon next year, we are going to be having another Mario and Sonic game, which is going to be Mario Sonic at the Tokyo Olympics. But that's not all, though. Now, you would think that Nintendo won everything just by the ending of revealing Banjo-Kazooie. Like, you would think it would be the grand finale, the perfect way to end things off with the Nintendo Direct by showing that Banjo-Kazooie is going to be coming to Smash. But no, they had one more surprise. And holy crap, this was the biggest surprise ever. Out of all the things at this year's E3, like, holy crap, it was something that blew my mind. That Nintendo decided that right after revealing Banjo-Kazooie, the one thing that they could top that is by revealing The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. Yes, what they have shown is actually a little clip where you see Zelda and Link checking out underneath a cave what seems to be the corpse of Ganon suddenly coming to life. And then right afterwards, they put up a little message by saying that the sequel of The Breath of the Wild is now in development. So that is actually going to be happening. And holy crap. Did Nintendo deliver on this one? They knocked it out of the park. Not only did they deliver what people wanted to hear and wanted to know more information about regarding stuff like Animal Crossing New Horizons and Luigi's Mansion, and also a bit of new info on Link's Awakening, but they also delivered on some major surprises as well. That finally they have confirmed not just one, but two Smash Ultimate DLC fighters, bringing in the hero from Dragon Quest, and Banjo-Kazooie. And then on top of that, delivering elements like No More Heroes 3, giving us a little extra info on Pokemon Sword and Shield, some of the remakes that are going to be coming in of big games like Witcher 3, and the latest Resident Evil games, showing us the Dark Crystal, Contra, then the new John Romero game, Empire of Sin, and then giving out the grand finale of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. Oh my god. This E3 was such a wild ride, and it was absolutely exciting. Nintendo delivered so much on all fronts, and they nailed it this year. They delivered stuff that fans want to hear, what fans want to know, and now they got the information that they want. It is absolutely exciting, and now I am definitely hyped up to know, to have some stuff from Nintendo. Like, honestly, I am absolutely excited to get the new DLC fighters for Smash Ultimate, especially getting Banjo-Kazooie, which is going to be coming out this fall. For me personally, like, I am happy that they got new info. Like, even though I'm not all that interested in the games like Luigi's Mansion 3 or Animal Crossing or Link's Awakening, I'm glad that they put out new info. That's actually really awesome. No More Heroes 3 actually does seem to be interesting and catch my eye. Contra Rogue Corp, that actually does seem pretty cool there. I might be curious to see how the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance is. I'll be more in a wait-and-see attitude to see maybe, maybe they might not work out. Like, maybe it might not be good. We'll see. Like, I am more, like, I'm intrigued, but more in a wait-and-see attitude with the Dark Crystal and Empire Sin. But, oh my god, Breath of the Wild 2, I am hyped up for frickin' Breath of the Wild 2. I love Breath of the Wild. I think it's one of the best Zelda games that they have made out there. It was a phenomenal game when I played it. Like, I've pretty much completed it now. But the sequel of it, I am so excited for this. Like, honestly, already, like, Breath of the Wild is right up there as one of my most anticipated Switch games out there. Like, I'm really that excited. So, holy crap. Yeah, overall, they did amazingly over here. They did a fantastic job. So with that said, I would actually, before we do, I want to give out my overall verdict regarding all the things that we have gotten at this year's E3, and let's go ahead and answer the big question: who won this year's E3? And for me personally, I would say, honestly, I might go a little bit with a tie with Nintendo and Bethesda. Because here's the thing. When it comes to Nintendo, like, yeah, Nintendo nailed it amazingly, but the reason why I want to give it a tie, because I feel like if I said the winner is Nintendo, I would feel a little bit too biased by it. I would say, like, oh, I love Nintendo. Nintendo's the best. Nintendo wins this year's E3. I feel like I would be a bit too biased. That's why I want to give also major credits to Bethesda. Like, yeah, maybe I would agree, like, Nintendo did a little bit better than Bethesda, but Bethesda also did an amazing job with the announcements of the games that they have received, especially bringing out some really interesting stuff like Ghostwire Tokyo and Doom Eternal, and also with Deathloop as well. So overall, honestly, I might, honestly, I would give the medal to both Nintendo and Bethesda. So with that said, I would like to know from you guys, what do you think about the announcements from Nintendo? Do you feel like Nintendo perfectly nailed it this year? Were you guys disappointed by Nintendo? And also, let me know, who do you think won this year's E3? Let me know in the comments. Or the chat wall, or whatever. Okay. Let's see. Nintendo has done it again. Whether it's showing of their new anticipated games like Luigi's Mansion 3 or Animal Crossing for the Switch, having a joke where Bowser believed he's the next to be in charge of Nintendo of America, only to get slammed by Bowser incarnated Doug Bowser. The fact that No More Heroes 3 is coming out next year, the Cyberpunk game, Link's Awakening is coming out, and Breath of the Wild 2. Oh, yeah. And that's the thing. That's another cute little moment from Nintendo, is that it actually started out with a funny little bit where Bowser is the one that he thought he was going to be the host of the Nintendo Direct, but then we got the new president of Nintendo, who is actually called Doug Bowser, coming in. That I feel like, it was cute. Like, for the first Nintendo, Nintendo Switch of the post-Reggie Fils-Aimé era, that was nice, it was a nice little welcome, and, the fun-loving nature is still there within Nintendo, and that's honestly great to hear. Okay, let's see. I have to agree, Nintendo won E3. Almost all of their announcements are great and overall had the best shows, but Square did a really good show, Microsoft did okay, while Bethesda was mediocre and Ubisoft was a disaster. Alright, that's interesting. Nintendo has certainly won this E3 for me, with Breath of the Wild sequel, Banjo-Kazooie and Smash, No More Heroes 3, and the Dark Crystal game. Though I will give Nintendo some big minus points, since they have revealed that you can only transfer Pokemon to Pokemon Sword and Shield if they appear in the Galar Pokedex. Yeah, that's another thing that they have announced that is a bit of a catch with Pokemon Sword and Shield, is that you're not going to be literally collecting all the Pokemon. It's just limited to the amount that they can accept in the Galar region. So yeah, there is a bit of that catch though. Okay, let's see now. What else do we got here? Nintendo did great this E3. My highlights were Banjo and Smash and Animal Crossing New Horizons, which I am very excited for. Also, Link's Awakening Remake and Luigi's Mansion 3 looks nice. Nintendo has the best presentation at this year's E3. Okay, let's see. Oh, to me, I'm looking forward for Luigi's Mansion, since I do love the Luigi's Mansion franchise, and I'm looking forward to see what the sequel can do. As for the winner, I say Nintendo and Bethesda, since they both did a good job with their games and presentation overall. For losers, I feel like Microsoft might be the loser one. Not sure about EA, since I don't want to pay attention to them. Yeah, I don't think EA did much. They just showed like a few highlights of a few of their games, and that's pretty much it. It's not really worth mentioning even in here, so there is that. Let's see. Nintendo was easily the best one at E3. I sometimes think Nintendo as the Pixar of video games. A lot of their games are great. Glad Banjo-Kazooie is now a playable character. Definitely excited for most of the characters, and will definitely play them once they come out. Alright, that is, oh, hold on a sec. There we go. Nintendo did an excellent job at E3 with Smash DLC characters like Banjo-Kazooie and the Heroes of Dragon Quest, and the development of Breath of the Wild 2, but I'm upset at the lack of updates of Bayonetta 3. Yeah, that is true, but, you know, one thing at a time. I mean, yeah, we might be disappointed that some things might not necessarily be announced, but, I mean, in this case with Nintendo, we gotta take what we get, because we already got so much as it is. Like, there's no point in complaining about what we didn't have, you know what I mean? Okay, so with all that said and done, I think this shall conclude this episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast and this special E3 episode. So with all that said, I would like to thank you guys so much for watching, and also just a bit of a heads up to tune in tomorrow, as we are going to be going back to our regular schedule, and from there we shall be going straight back into animation, as we will go and discuss about the trailer of Frozen 2 and many of the exciting announcements that has happened at the animation equivalent of E3, the Annecy International Animation Film Expo. I was about to say Expo. The Annecy International Animation Film Festival. So with all that said and done, I would just like to say thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, see you later, dudes!